Happy Veterans Day. I'm so excited to share some amazing resources that we have for current serving military members and any of you who might have pledged your support and your service to our wonderful nation. I'm so excited to talk to you about some of the resources, especially for mental health and dealing with PTSD, as well as the physical, emotional, and mental stress and even trauma that being in the military can lead to. So specifically, I have a really strong affinity to working with veterans and our military personnel. In my clinic, when I was in St. Petersburg, our Air Force base at MacDill in Tampa had a huge population of folks coming back from war in the Middle East. And I worked with a lot of veterans and individuals that were in the post-surgical, post-recovery phases. And I want to share with you some resources that I used with them to equip their brain and their bodies with the fortitude and the nutrition to help manage any of the imbalances that service has yielded within their lives. And the other thing that I want to share with you is the really important focus in my practice is zeroing in on PTSD and dealing with the emotional stress, depression, and anxiety that's very common for our veterans and active duty members. So first, I want to share with you something that we have here that is amazing, that can really support your brain health as a nootropic, which is a nutritional supportive to your brain. Specifically, there are certain nutrients and nutritional aspects in our diet and our supplementation that can cross the blood-brain barrier. And our product that we have that does that, our nootropic, is called Ageless Brain. And this has a combination of herbals, some Amazonian herbals and some common everyday herbals like cinnamon and even bacopa that can help enhance brain function, mental acuity, mental focus, and it also helps to support the lowering of inflammation levels inside the brain. One of the things that we also see the Ageless Brain has is it has a particular extract. It's dragon's blood resin. So this is a very specialized tree sap that is really powerful at supporting our neurogenic support, which means we can help enhance the regrowth and redevelopment of our brain cells, our neurons, and the neuroplasticity, the strength of those neurons. So some of the things that I found is when we use nootropics in our day-to-day lives with any of my patients that have had brain injuries, TBI, so traumatic brain injury, head injury, or dealing with mental, emotional stressors. So might be dealing with anxiety, panic attacks, depression, ADD, ADHD, OCD, and even PTSD. Nootropics are really important for helping balance the neuroendocrine hormones. And we have neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, as well as melatonin and PABA and GABA that can be very powerfully supported by a nootropic. So this is really powerful. Ageless Brain is something that will help your brain cells grow. It supports that enhancement of the cell turnover of our brain cells. And it can also help to calm an inflamed brain state. And that could be inflammation from candida. It could be inflammation from exposure to toxic chemicals, burn pits, or other chemicals that the body has been exposed to in active duty or everyday life. And it can also help enhance that circulation and the process of absorption of nutrition to the brain. So Ageless Brain is definitely my number one on my list. Now, the other thing I want to address is what I found with a lot of my PTSD patients out of our Air Force base. One of the things that they said is they had racing mind, and they would even have difficulty sleeping. So there'd be a lot of insomnia, night terrors, or even flashbacks of traumatic experiences. And this is more in line with dealing with that emotional mental state. There is an over-the-counter supplementation that involves using flowers or flower essences. So it's kind of like an herbal, but more of flower oriented, the essence of flowers and certain plants. And it's called Bach Flower Remedies or Bach Rescue Remedy. This is a combination of 5 different types of flowers. This is really great for individuals that are dealing with a racing mind, the brain that's going. Sometimes that brain or memory is causing an inability to focus in the present day. Maybe you're stuck on past thoughts and past kind of mental speak. And you might be dealing with insomnia or the physical ramifications of stress and trauma. Bach flowers, it comes in a spray, so you can spray it on your tongue. You can also take a little lozenge and suck on that. These are less than $10, $12 for these bottles in your kind of natural store. You can buy it on Amazon. That works well for that emotional state. Then I also want to focus on supporting the adrenal health of my veterans and individuals that might be dealing with the emotional effect of PTSD, as well as that post-physical effect. So if you've been injured or have had physical fatigue or wear and tear on muscles and joints, we're also going to be dealing with the stress of that on the body. And I do work with a lot of folks in working with kind of detoxing from a lot of these harmful chemicals that you get exposed to in the active duty state. One of the things that I like to involve are functional mushrooms. And we have 7M+, which is a powerful blend of assorted mushrooms that can help your body deal with the physical, emotional, and overall effects of stress, and can help the body deal with stress in a much more efficient way so that we don't have spikes of cortisol. And we also can see an enhancement in the antioxidant levels by using chaga and some of the other things like turkey tail that are going to help your body, your brain, and your overall body support itself. So that is another resource here. And as far as lifestyle resources, I like to recommend that my veterans and active duty members take time out once a day to practice what I call mindfulness. Now, you could call this yoga, you could call it meditation, prayer, but it's about a 15-20-minute process where you literally shut out the world and you get into kind of a comfortable state, maybe play some relaxing music, and just really zero in on tuning into your body, tuning into aspects that might be feeling certain areas of the body. You might feel inflamed or have pain, and really focus on tapping into our healing light, our healing energy, our body's capacity for self-healing. And you can do these guided meditations or guided activities. If you do yoga, there are great podcasts that you can tap into on Audible. There's a lot of resources, even over on YouTube. You can definitely get into a self-healing state. And statistically, what we see from scientific research, meditation and the active state of slowing down, doing good deep breathing, it actually is one of the best ways to calm and balance our central nervous system, which the reality active duty members get, their fight or flight system gets triggered. Even basic training. I mean, the reality is you are going to be putting your body through a lot of physical stress. You're also going to be equipping your body to deal with the stressors that active duty requires, depending on if you're in the field or not. There's still a lot of stress that your body's dealing with. And while we can physically and mentally deal with a lot of stress and we're juggling a lot of balls, the reality is that we're not always going to be able to handle that in a sustained state. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way our body works. And so a lot of times we'll start to see physical manifestations of stress, mental exhaustion, and fatigue, physical and emotional. So I like to incorporate different herbals. I like to incorporate functional mushrooms. And then for folks that are dealing with a lot of physical pain, muscular pain, sometimes autoimmune dysfunctions, which can occur from active duty states, I like to recommend the joint and muscle care. This is a very powerful anti-inflammatory. There's 3 wonderful herbals in it that will help to minimize pain of muscles. It's great for any of those injuries that might have been sustained in active duty or in an active injury. and as well as trauma, we can get promotion of the lymphatic process and can actually help with the healing state that we need to ease our muscle, ease our tension. And so overall, you can relax your muscles by using the joint and muscle care, but you can also care for your body and support the recovery from injury. And that is often what I see a lot of active duty members as they get out and they're in their veteran status. They end up feeling, my hips are really sore. Oh, my ankle's giving me problems. Oh, I've got a neck injury, a cervical, injury, or a tweak to my muscle. And the joint and muscle care can really help affect that. But it also is powerful at supporting the lymphatic system. And that is a lymphatic system in our brain. And that also can be assisted by the ageless brain and our 7M plus that we have here at Organixx, that can further enhance the overall state of our brain health. Because without a healthy brain, we're not going to have a healthy body. And it becomes really important that we support the whole entire system for our veterans. So I want to thank you for your service, for your duty, and hopefully you take some of these resources to help your body feel your best and most optimized self. Thank you for your time.